All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hey, welcome to It's Challenge Life. It's a good day every day. We are so excited to come on with you live. It's me, Vanita, aka the Career Doc. Who you are, who you is, who we got today. Let's talk.
Hey, I'm like, well, shit, that was a toss over, and we didn't catch it.
Right.
It was a toss.
It was like, is that me? Is that
That's
me?
like, you know how they throw the bouquet at a wedding or a garden at the wedding,
And
and all
everybody step to the
You
side.
missed it.
we missed that. No, this is Jamelia, aka Boss Lady, super excited. What is up, child life? And
We're gonna
we
keep pointing down
have,
to the bottom.
and we
Hey, and
have,
I'm Luana, aka Miss Details.
All the details.
Hello.
Yes, what's going on? Hey, look, we got a great one for you today. We're super excited. We're jumping right into the box today. All gas, no brakes today. We are talking about the Biden student loan forgiveness program. Look, it just came out. We ain't wasting not one day. It's hot off the press. It's like fire. It's like fire. So we
yes,
do everything that you need to know. All right. First of all, let's break it down. Let's talk about what it is and let's
what it is.
talk about what it ain't. Okay. It ain't everything, right? So all of y'all who got $257,000 worth of debt, it ain't that. All right. It ain't the everything. All right. Let's talk about what it is. It's $10,000. 10K. If you have not received any type of Pell Grants. All right. And it's 20K, 20K if you have received Pell Grants in the past. So basically, obviously, it is geared towards those in the middle class. I mean, let's just be real. I'm going to pay both sides. It's geared towards those in the middle class. Now, we all know that the Biden administration made this promise before he stepped foot in that Oval Office, right? We didn't have high inflation. It wasn't sky high. It wasn't sky high. It's sky high right now. Okay. So it's 10K without Pell, 20K with. Go ahead and start there. That's because we went through a pandemic. Many people on both sides, for many reasons and seasons, have benefited, whether it was the fact that your rent, your mortgage was in forbearance, all kind of things were held back. One of the big things that were held back was student loan payments. But let me give you the big one. Them payments finna be due 12/31/2022. Guess what's coming due?
You want that? Yeah.
Yeah, if you got them, they about to start back up. So 12/31/22, get ready. So 10K or 20K, depending on what. Now, let me tell you who this affects. Over 20 million people. If you apply, about 20 million people will have zero loan debt after this. About 20 million people can have
Wow.
about zero loan debt with that 10 to 20K, and over 40 million people will have some type of reduction.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
That's
So
a
Pell
lot of
Grants,
money.
Pell Grants used to give around 60K-ish in money, around 60K in money. So like I said, middle class. All right. Let me just throw this out there again because we're gonna make sure everybody his voice is heard. I like to make sure everybody understands. Let me tell you who this don't help. Let me tell you who ain't being held. Those who have saved for college. If you save for your child to go to college, like you put all that money away, you was doing your job, pinching them pennies, and you paid. This don't help you because you save. People who graduated paid your own debt, sweat, tears. You don't. They're not just gonna give you 10K. It's done. Those who chose like a non-college career, like a trade school, or went a different path, people who went into the armed forces, we ain't got no debt. Like, like how do we benefit from this? like taxpayers, we paying taxes too. Where my 10K? Where my 20 on the back row? I'm just throwing it out. And it wasn't in inflation. Inflation sky high. Is this a good time to do this right now? Throw that in the box. Last thing I'm gonna say. I don't think this is where the real problem is. I think this is what I'm gonna say. College is too expensive.
Amen.
Bad.
College is too expensive.
Bad.
Since 1980, college has gone up by 180%. And it just keeps getting higher and higher and more expensive to send people to college. But we need college graduates. We need doctors and lawyers and scientists. And college is too daggone expensive. And somebody's benefiting from this, and it ain't us. Hmm. And if we don't talk about the real problem, but student loan forgiveness is here. 10K, 20K. What you ladies got to say?
Well, look, thank you, and thank you. Thank you. Like you. I'm a thank you. But I understand the other side of it, right? I myself appreciate the effort. There are a lot of people, like you said, that will not have any student debt. They may have other debt, but they're not going to have no student loan debt, and some that are going to get a reduction from this. The hope is that people, which we know history is proven, are going to go spend money because they'll have more available credit. Some scores will go up some places. They'll have more options to go out and stimulate some economy things, right? That's the possibility. It has been proven that people spend money when options are available to spend money. Hence, a lot of people were stimulated with stimulus, and that money went right back out instead of being put to good use in other places. A lot of people got grants when they were doing grants for a lot of things, and a lot of that money got spent and used. So I think that that's the thought and the premise a lot of the times with a lot of the things that have been done, is that we will be typical to what we are used to being typical to, right? Like we will continue in the same process. However, for those people who believe they did it right, and I'm going to say kudos to everybody who, like you said, scrimped and saved and paid for your babies to go to school, paid for your sister to go to school and funded it and did it with no debt. That is awesome. But the reality of it is that is not everyone's story, and not everyone had that same ability. Not everyone had that same structure. So I think it's a great people do that. I hope that people say, hey, now my credit score has jumped. Now this has happened. Maybe I can move differently and stimulate the economy in a different way. That's not their thought, but that's what happens when they start to move differently in that. But I mean, I'm going to stick with my thank you, and I'm not going to feel bad about my thank you. I'm going to stick with it. Hey, thank you.
Well, I'm gonna double that thank you because definitely 10,000. I'll take it. So, and I just got mine under 10,000. So, so I'm like, oh, wait a minute. But yeah, you're right. Not everybody has the means to go to have their college paid for, fully funded. Not all of us are trust fund babies. And most of us, I'm going to say most of us, a lot of us, you're trying to raise your family, so paying for a college 18, 20 years from now is not always in the forefront. You need to feed your family. College will deal with that when that happens. So yeah, I definitely understand both sides of the coin. What, Jamie? You got something to say?
It's such a double-edged sword, right?
It is.
Because like, we're talking about the forgiveness of it, but if we go back, right? The reason people are going to school, the reason people are trying to get a higher education is to better themselves. And the whole thought of getting the loan is that I can get this better education without completely impeding on my current life and trying to maintain it, right? So if I have to take care of my children, if I have to work this job, if I have to take care of family, or if you're just struggling to take care of you, especially in today's economy, because I mean, we're not, I mean, us, them forgiving these loans of 20K and 10K doesn't stop people presently from going every day. Somebody is applying for FSA for FAFSA to get additional loans. You know, that doesn't stop, you know. So the thought that it is that double-edged sword of, okay, now I've done this and my income, you know, I didn't make the best decisions right when I did this. Some people went to school for a degree in art and now they doing something completely different. Some people went to school for degrees in engineering and now they not using them. Some people went to school for education and they can't afford to be educators right now. You know, so and they didn't go through the process or didn't qualify for whatever criteria to get their loans forgiven with that process, which was already in place for all public, you know, those who work for the public. So it's different. I think it's that double-edged sort of, now you're like, okay, I have a little relief. I had full good intentions. I think sometimes when the conversation has been had over the last few days that I've seen, it's been a conversation like these people who went to get these degrees were just completely careless, defaulted on their loans. They didn't care about it, and now they're getting bailed out. We bail out banks. We bail out corporations. We bail out all of these people, and we are now upset that they're attempting to help bail out middle class people who are the majority and funding the circulation of this most of this world. So I'm like, what is the debate? Why are we up in arms about this? Is it because you know somebody who's going to directly benefit? Or is it because really it's the issue? You know what I'm saying? Like, truthfully, these people went to school with intention to graduate, get good degrees, and be fruitful in society. And it's now we're doing something and using this money to bail out people who are actually potentially going to put back into society. I'm just saying, I don't feel bad about my thank you. I'm going back to thank you. I'm still going.
Are you still at thank you?
I still thank you.
Life happens. You're right. Life happens. You could have every intention, but you know, sometimes life happens. But I'll tell you what, when those stimulus checks were being handed out last year, I was like, where's my check? Can I get a check? so so yeah, I don't feel bad about it. However, I know that that somehow we got to pay that back. We've got to. Mm-hmm. So free money isn't free.
Free money is not free.
I want to say Michelle Powell. What up, Michelle? Is checking us out on Facebook, and she just said she appreciates the 10K, but I feel like it's too little, too late for some. And you're right, sis. It is a little too late for some, a little too late for some. But I don't know that we could ever be right on time for everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be right on. Like you said, there's somebody who like, I just paid off my loan last month. Some people who said, I don't even want my loan to be in deferment. I'm gonna pay it because I want to pay it off. And now they're like, I should have waited. But you shouldn't. You should have did what you did when you were doing it, right? And we can't think about it in that way because hindsight is 2020. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We make decisions in that moment, which is the same decisions that a lot of these people made in getting their degrees. They made the decision for their circumstances in that moment, never knowing that there would be a Biden that existed, never knowing that this would be a decision that was made or that it was even possible. You know, they didn't make the decision hoping somebody would bail them out. So we still got to consider that. So,
yes. So we've got past the great debate. Can we dig in a little bit to the real issue? Because I think sometimes we will fight and we'll debate about more of the symptoms, and we're not really talking about really what the core problem is. The problem is that school is too expensive, right? Way too expensive. and we don't teach people how to navigate these waters. There are a lot of families who don't know how to navigate the scholastic system, and we have told them the way that you negotiate it is that you go get grants and loans. That's what you're told, because people have waited until they got to the door to begin to knock at it, right?
Yep.
So there are families who know how to save money, and they have money to pay for their kids. That's great. Kudos to you. For the middle class, we are trying to survive, right? So if I want my child to be a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, or if that's what they want, now we're at the door. How do we get them to be bridging over into this experience, right? So that's where we're at. There are ways to mitigate, you not having to swim in a shark tank, because that's what trying to get through a whole scholastic career using loans, and that is like a shark tank, right? Because what you don't know is at the end of it, there is a sword that you have to lay on called student debt and loans, because you got to pay back. I don't care if them loans are subsidized or unsubsidized. Don't nobody care. That loan shark, I'm sorry, student loan, Fannie Mae. Ooh, I'm sorry, she want her money back,
All of
right?
it.
And she want it back with interest.
Yes.
Like she want all her money back. um, so we have to be able to teach people how to navigate through these shark infested waters.
Yes. Absolutely.
So the real problem is school has gone up by, like we said, like 180% just since the 80s. That's not, if we go back to the 50s, it's some like 300%. It's some crazy number,
Hmm.
right? It used to be $10,000 a semester. Now we're at almost $30,000 a semester. It's foolishness, right?
Yeah.
So now how do we help parents? How do we help to tell them how to navigate the water so that they're not sacrificing their child on the sword in order for them to say my child has a college degree?
Ooh.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna let Lawana, because my heart is palpitating, but I'm gonna let Lawana kick that off because she just sent a baby. She just sent a baby to school. So it's fresh.
Yes,
It's
yes,
fresh.
and we were one of those that we did not have the means to put aside for college for our children. So it was either, student loans, get a bunch of grants, and just it was just not something that we were able to do during those years when our children were young. Now, just sent my last baby off. She's in college. She decided not to go to community college, but she did go to an in-state college, which is a little cheaper. However, it's still expensive, and she don't have no job. so, as parents, we have taken on that. I can say it's not really a burden, because you do what you can for your children. But she knows we gonna do everything we can to help you through.
Hmm.
However, you may have to take out some loans. You may have to get a job. It's in the air. It's in the air. So yeah, it's just you and who wants to tell their child no, you can't go to college, you know.
Exactly.
So, but yeah. Huh?
Fatima Bates is Fatima Bates. What up? Shout out to Fatima Bates.
What
She
up, Ma?
she
What's up, Michelle Powell?
right. She says sometimes parents are fearful and they avoid. Sorry, my light goes out. I shine so bright.
Well,
Sometimes
you can bring the sunshine, all that light you bring it, but go ahead. What you say, Fatima?
Sometimes parents are fearful and they avoid until it is a must. In my experience, work those scholarships like you work a job.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
know what? And I'm gonna add, because I like words, I like words. Um it sometimes it's not even fear. These things are not out here publicized. Now, there are certain things that they will tell you, right? That's out
Yeah,
here, that the line is clear. Let your child not show up to school 10 days in a row. They ready to put you in jail.
right,
Let your child wear a flannel shirt. They trying to, kick them out of school because they got the wrong shirt on.
right, right, right.
All this stuff that they got laid out, right? It's all of a sudden it's like a high school drop, is what I call the cliff. Oh, you just fall off. Where is this streamlined process for parents from grade school to college? And there are some very fantastic schools, scholastic centers, that if you know where they are, you talk to the right people, you get connected to the right stream, that there is a very clear stream of this. But there needs to be a very clear stream for parents that says, hey, if you're in this sect of parents, here's how much it's going to cost, 60,000 K, whatever, for your kids to go to school. Let's start getting them lined up for this so we can get them lined up for these scholarships. Make sure they playing the tuba, make sure they got the scholastic this, make sure they doing this, make sure, because they can start lining them stuff up for all these things. There needs to be a streamlined process for parents so that they can get their kids lined up, set up, ready, so that they can apply for scholarships like they going out of style. And then also the scholarship process, you got to write 97 different essays to 27 different things, like you in a beauty contest. How would you serve world hunger? How would you solve it?
Well,
Come
those
on.
scholarships, you got to work them like a job.
I mean, it is like a job, right? But this is the thing: we need more doctors, we need more lawyers, we need these things. So stop playing the game. Let's get these kids lined up, ready. I love the high schools that get these kids career ready. Let's go. It's all this academic foolish, career ready. That's what they need to be. So let's get them lined up for that.
Yeah, and in talking about that, I mean, let's be real. Like, speaking for myself, my mother didn't have a lot of. My mother didn't go to college, so it was me. So she didn't have the experience. She didn't tell me where to go. I went to a very small all-girl Catholic school. Okay, very small. That small all-girl Catholic school was 500 girls. Right, my graduating class I think was 126. We had one guidance counselor. Let's be honest about that. One guidance counselor. So I got about 15 minutes with her. Now, our school was small. That's small compared to many, many schools that are out there. And so I still got about 15 minutes with her, and I told her what I wanted to do. It wasn't at all something that when we went through and when we did that, I was like, well, I'm interested in this. And these are the classes I took leading up to it. I want to be a doctor. So I took these. I didn't have all of that. So now we're talking about kids knowing far earlier what it is they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, right? That's what we're talking about, and preparing them for that. And that's why we have Challenge Life. Let's be real, ladies. That's why Challenge Life is what it is. That's why it's here, because we went through and stumbled through, and the hope is that we can help kids and their parents navigate those waters, understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. And that's why we're here. So this is why it's such a passion conversation about student loan debt. Even though we're talking about thank you, I'm still on my thank you. But even on my thank you, even outside of my thank you, it's still taking back. This is why we do what we do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Student loan, I mean, whether you're getting 10K or 20K forgiven, let's just per se, what if at the beginning you learn how to not take out the student loans, or to not have that be a necessity, or learn a path where you didn't even need them, right? So that you didn't come out and have 10, 20, 30, 60, 120, 80, $90,000 worth of debt, so that now you're saying, oh my God, well, because I know people who are like 10, that ain't doing nothing on this 80 or 20, right? What if we could have navigate? What if some of us, and that's why a challenge life is important. What if some of us right now, what if all of us right now stood up, who have or don't have, who cares, who know how to navigate the shark infested waters? That's what I call it, trying to go to school by yourself without a mentor or somebody's already been there. What if all of us stood up and say, hey baby, don't take out all them loans. Don't do it. Because on the end, you have to lay on the sword, right? What if all of us go back and say, this is great for somebody from the government, to say, let me forgive it. Let me show you how to not take on all that student debt. That's why challenge life is so important. This is all great. We love, thank you, for whatever they gave. They could, some people say they could have gave more. They could have. But what if we make sure that the next generation doesn't take on the student debt? Because student debt is dangerous.
Dang.
And it also it stops the way that you live your life. You
Yeah.
can't have a car. You can't get the house that you want. You can't live the lifestyle that you deserve. You don't went to school for 4 years and now you still have to live a substandard life. That's why challenge life is important. That's why you have to understand the financial and scholastic risk before you open the door, before you jump in the water, and before you lay on the sword.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Student loan forgiveness, is it a blessing? To many, it is. Is there a whole lot more to talk about? Yeah, because there are a lot of people who this doesn't do anything for, and who didn't. This doesn't bless. And there's two sides to every story. The main thing is that school costs a lot, and if you don't know how to negotiate these waters, you're going to come out with a lot of student debt, and you got to pay back every penny of it. And what if 2 years from now, 4 years from now, when you're done, Biden is in office and you got $60,000 worth of debt, and there is no fairy tale pixie Biden to give you $10,000 to pay off your 40. So let's talk about how to negotiate and navigate. So challengelife.com, we do have our Cashing on Your Passion program, but more than that, we do have our online career academy. Actually, Jamie, I think we're going to start doing some weekly sessions. We're going to
Yes.
start taking on some people. We're going to start taking on people weekly, where we start helping students to navigate the process of how to get through college without taking on a bunch of student debt, because it is that important. So challengelife.com. And if you're a mentor, if you want to be a mentor, if you
Yes.
want to help these students not do what we have done, hello, to not jump into the shark infested waters and hope they make it. If you want to be a mentor, come help us in this endeavor, because we want to help as many kids as we can not do what we just did. So, challengelife.com, student loan forgiveness. Is it a blessing? To many, yes. Is there a whole lot to talk about? Yes. But the real problem is school too expensive.
Yes.
Right. Come
Yes.
on now.
Fix
School
that.
is expensive.
Fix that. All right, ladies. What else y'all got?
Look, that's really the nutshell. You knocked it all out. I mean, school is too expensive, so be strategic, right? Be strategic. Educate yourself early about getting the education. And that's important. And that don't mean, that doesn't matter if you're brand new, and you're helping your baby get into college, or you yourself trying to go back and get into college, or you trying to switch up your careers, whatever it is. That's the blessing of our program, because it navigates all things. There is no age limit or requirement. There is no gender restriction. There is none of that. So anybody who's willing to say, hey, now this has triggered a lot of conversation about a lot of things. And like you said, January 1, they're gonna be like, where that money? You didn't have all that time to say that
I
money.
think it's gonna be December 31st at 12:59. I don't even think they just gonna. I don't think they're gonna wait till January.
People gonna start coming out, and they're gonna be like, look, and that's right at Christmas. So y'all don't be out here. No payment is coming in
I
January.
better save some of that Christmas money. Save some of that Christmas money.
Right. So it's a great conversation that I think we'll be having for a while, because it triggers so many things. Michelle mentioned even in her post that a lot of these kids are still taking out loan in excess of what their expenses really are.
Yes. Oh my God! Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, please don't do that.
It's a lot of education and people doing in the moment without thinking, right? Without thinking that this moment is definitely going to impact the next. So connect with us
There are
every week.
so many ways to decrease your student debt. I don't care if you got to stay with your auntie pool. I don't care if you got to live 27 people deep. 27 people deep. There's so many ways to decrease your student debt. I'm telling you, talk to some of us
Yeah.
who y'all had to have that apartment. Hey, get 97 people and pack them in.
Actually, pay it forward. I told put on hashtag pay it forward, law.
Pay it
That's
forward.
trying to pay it forward. So if you are, just reiterate, if you are somebody who experienced it, I saw Fatima post on the strategy she used for her son and how he ended up getting his paying for his education and how his education went. Look, if you have any little bit of knowledge, don't think your knowledge or experience is too minute or minuscule. Somebody else is struggling to figure out what you want to.
There's so many parents struggling how to figure out how. You know what? I think we need to
Please
start posting that
share.
on our page, like
Share.
the parent page, like ways for us to help each other get these
Yeah.
babies to college.
Yeah.
Or trade school, or get them out your basement. Oh, did I say that out loud? Amen. Amen. All right. Good deal. Good deal.
I know
Well,
that
this has been awesome. Thank y'all so much. ChallengeLife.com. Like I said, we are going to start. I think, like I said, we're going to start doing some weekly sessions, taking these babies in by the week. Parents, students who need this information, let us know. We definitely want to start helping as many people as possible to one, navigate this system, and also get your baby to be the most excellent that they can be, because they are geniuses and they need to know that.
absolutely agree.
All right, good deal. Blessings. Definitely talk to y'all soon. See you later.
Bye.
Bye now.